everyone. I'm truly excited today on the new episode of the SDJ podcast. I've got a very inspiring lady with me. She's an entrepreneur, she's a writer, she's a cultural commentator. She's the owner of the brand Flomad. She's also building Starseed Cult as well as Dakini Atelier. So she's doing so many things. It's truly a pleasure and honor to have her with me on this candid chat. So, welcome, Devika. Truly an honor to have you today and going to share some insights on your journey. Um,
Thank you so much, Dan. That's a lovely introduction. Thank you. It's very kind.
so to begin with, I want to know if I take away your money, I take away your reputation, I take away your network, what is that still, how long would it take Devika to rebuild herself?
Well, I think the biggest asset that I have to my name today is my team, and you haven't taken that away yet. So,
Okay.
as long as I have my team, I can rebuild everything. But of course, building that team has been an effort. And more often, I think as long as I also have my perspective on things, it's just, the Phoenix mentality is what I basically believe is my biggest resource. So, just coming back from the dead or coming back from a complete like ashes situation is like sort of a specialty at this point. I wouldn't give you a timeline, but I know that we would be quick in coming back up.
Okay. And tell me something, has ambition ever cost you love, friendships, or peace of mind?
Ambition is a strong word. I think I'm a passionate person. I'm not sure how ambitious I am. There's been several instances where I was told to choose between love and friendships and everything. But yes, this passion of mine or my initial ambition did cost me my college years, my teenage. I didn't really get a chance to do the things that I should have done as a younger teenager. But then again, it's never too late for that. I'm doing that in my 20s now while I have the actual resources to do that. Life's no fun without money anyway, right? So, yeah, I think sacrifices need to be made. It's just important to know what you really want from your life. And it's important to be in a place where you can give yourself a lifestyle first and you have some sort of a security.
Okay. And according to you, especially in today's time, what is the biggest lie you think social media tells all young entrepreneurs on a daily basis?
Lie. I mean, see, there's all kinds of content being made. There's true content, there's virtual content that's based on complete fiction, and we all watch fiction movies, we read fictional books, there are fictional characters. So I think social media, I personally believe is not the problem. Although I also like to go off it a lot sometimes when it gets overstimulating. But I think comparison is the problem. So no matter what we're dealt with, I think it's our perspective that needs to be a little bit like broader. And the second you compare yourself to anyone, comparison is the killer of joy, as we've all heard, right? So yeah.
Okay. And do you think, in today's time, people are actually building businesses or just building content around businesses?
I mean, I wish I would be one of those people who did build content around businesses. So, no shade to anyone who is doing personal branding and dealing with the internet, dealing with fame is really, really genuinely difficult for anyone who's ever tried. Content creators and influencers, they put in a lot of work, they put in a lot of thought to what they're doing, and the execution is insane. Trust me, for anyone who's tried, they know that. So, building a brand requires you to have a personal brand. If anyone's doing that, that's still great. There are all kinds of people that exist in the business world right now. People who are doing the sort of the root below the tree work, and there are people who are just building a massive tree with no roots. But either way, as long as you stay persistent, you can come to back to the other. So, to all of them who are at least doing something, I think that's a great idea.
Okay. And according to you, if AI can actually write, design, market, and sell, what makes a human entrepreneur irreplaceable? Sorry, irreplaceable. Yeah.
I mean, for me, so I just had a year in New York where I went back to study and understand what AI integration is exactly. And there's a very good friend of mine who's building an AI academy for people to learn AI, and I'm also a part of that. Like I'm also learning on that from her. And there's a lot of AI integration. So AI is definitely a tool. And like they say that you won't lose your job to AI, but you will lose it to someone who does use AI. So that's always great. But personally, in my brand, what my intention with the brand is, with especially with Flomad, because we're going towards things that are organically produced, we don't want to produce content with AI. Like the shoots, the photo shoot, like the models, the human touch, and the whole process. Like, I'm the kind of an entrepreneur who believes that effort is actually luxury, and slower, steadier is just sexier to me. So anything that AI can do in terms of creating a system, that's great. It helps you build on much better in your business, and it's the human resources where and when they're needed, of course, will still be irreplaceable. But in terms of the craft, like the handwork, the presentation, the photo shoots, everything, I still believe that in a world full of AI, the brands that stay organic will also like have a real story to tell. So it's not about perfection anymore. It's just about real reality, which it again has always been.
Also, I want to know, while building any brand, there are a lot of challenges, there are a lot of difficulties. What were the early challenges which you faced and how did you overcome them?
See, for me, because I've done a lot of businesses other than the ones that are online right now, I failed a lot in the process of building businesses. So I wouldn't say that's why I told you that I don't like to use the term successful for myself,
Right.
because I'm in process and I'm in my 20s, and I just like I'm not going to be 30 soon. And I thought that in my 20s, I want to just experiment. And in my 30s, I will stick to what I really want to create and like indulge in and stuff like that. So with my marketing company, I was extremely blessed with a really good team again. So the biggest challenge is always to procure the best human resource. And for anyone who has a clear vision, they know exactly what they're doing. You'll be surprised at how much like clear thinkers you also attract. So building the team is the biggest challenge for everything. Having a clarity of vision, having the research to back up your vision, and then the execution to just power through is very important. And for any business that I have built, I feel like the thing that's come in handy, like it starts with passion, of course, for me. But what's more important is that you just have to be stay at it. You at any point of time you just can't give up. So despite all the failures, all the money that I've lost, and everything else that's gone down for me, and all the time that I've contributed, I feel like the only thing that's brought me back is just my persistence to want to, make the businesses available to the world.
Okay. And do you think people actually fall in love with authenticity or is just all about aesthetics, according to you?
I think it's a mix of both. Aesthetics definitely do play a role, and in a world full of materialists, I wouldn't say that we live in an ideal world where it works fairly. But originality still does win, like 100%. Like there's so many people who I see are blatantly like confident, and that's the only thing that works for them. When you just truly inherently know who and what you are, and you can just put that out there, I think you're unbeatable, no matter the aesthetics you have in place, no matter how many private jet photos you have or yacht photos you have on your social media. If you're actually posting genuine content, or if you're actually true to who you are and what your roots are and your story, um, it'll always be a bigger asset than anything else that makes you look, a certain way.
Okay. Also, I want to know, what's the boldest decision you've ever made without knowing that it might actually work?
Boldest decisions. Well, I'm still making a lot of bold decisions, and I think decision making is the most important thing of being an entrepreneur. The faster you make decisions, the faster you may fail or the faster you may win, but you have to be quick with decision making. And actually, along the way, every decision that you make is really bold. Personally, for me, in my personal life, I've made a lot of really bold decisions that have made me go back and forth a lot. Like moving out, coming back to India, having your production in India, or having the production, like having a supply chain abroad and everything. Like you require a lot of really big decisions. So it's easy to make them again when you have a clear vision and you know exactly what you're going for.
Okay. And if today someone copied your business, what is that one thing they can't copy about you?
I think everyone can copy everyone. The biggest of the designers of the world are being copied, so none of us should be worried about that. But the one thing that I feel like my business will be doing that nobody else can do is just um, the fabrics that we're actually integrating are going to be really hard to find for anyone. But if they do copy it,
Right.
there's no way they can sell for a cheaper price point than us
Okay.
if it's the same quality. So that would be something that I feel like in the long run is something that will translate to my customer. But for the sake of brand value, something being copied is something that is beyond any of us doing. But yes, of course, I think having NFTs of your designs, having patents of your designs, and like just putting them on blockchain with NFTs will actually that's one way of saving your designs if copying really bothers any of the designers.
Okay. Today, I want to ask you this question. If today your entire digital disappears overnight, who would Devika Arora be?
My digital is actually not even that strong because I'm very afraid of a public image. Like, in fact, recently I was asked to join like a reality TV show and everything, and I was while it was extremely flattering to me, I found myself extremely worried about how I would do in something like in a situation like that because I think for me privacy is king. Like building in silence is everything. So yes, of course, while we all know that we have to build a personal brand, my social media personally is just a compilation of my travels and stuff, and I only ever come online when I can post stuff like that. So if my social goes away, I would have just lost a lot of memories of the past 10, 12 years, and the content that I've published online is just for me than anyone else, or like a vlog for my kids to maybe see someday on how I lived my 20s and my teenage. But if that happens, if that situation presents itself, I think I'll be okay. So,
No, but I think I would
yeah.
disagree. I think you're being a little modest because I actually searched about you and I found a lot of content which I could probably talk to you about. So you are doing an amazing job.
Okay.
Yeah, so I want to first of all give you
Yeah.
kudos for that, keep shining. So
Thank you.
uh,
Thank you. Coming from you, that means a lot, of
no,
course,
no, it's
because
it's
you've been
really nice.
documenting your
I
process for me.
always look for aspiring entrepreneurs, who have hustled, who have a journey. So, it's always nice to connect with people like yourself. So, it's truly inspiring for me as well as a person. So, yeah.
That's so
Um,
sweet. Thank you. That's very kind of you.
so my next one would be, what do people glorify that you think is actually destroying creativity today?
I think AI content is definitely one of the things. I have seen the biggest of the brands. I don't want to name them, but literally the top tier of the brands. So Dakini Atelier is basically like in Dakini Atelier, we do a lot of B2B manufacturing and
Okay,
we work with a lot of fashion brands. And everyone that we've worked for, we've seen their processes and stuff like that. And I feel like there's so much like craft and handwork that's happening
right.
and by integrating AI in on the social media, that whole originality like just kind of goes away. It makes me feel like it's a shortcut, and any shortcut needs to be avoided. And not just in fashion. In fact, entrepreneurs in general who are building like tech startups and stuff like that. A lot of people are trying to make life easier. Like with these tools. Like of course we have the meta glasses and stuff like that, but. I mean, it does sort of take away from the society a lot. Like back in the day, as humans, we had a third place, which was like a vantage point, right? Like you had your home, you had your office, and then there was like a prayer room or a community sitting area or somewhere that you would like, uh, maybe like a temple that you would go inwards. So while the world is getting more digital and we have more solutions and dopamine hits up quicker and easier to procure, we're going away from that. So I think that is something that if possible should be avoided at all cost.
Okay, so today, if I look at Devika Arora, probably 5 years down the line, I'm sure you've set certain goals and targets for yourself. What is that you're still wanting to achieve?
So presently, I guess I have goals. Everyone has goals. We have the 5 year
Okay,
mark, and I believe that okay, I want to take my brand to a certain space and stuff like that. But presently, my only goal is to actually build a system. The thing about goals is you win once, you get them once. Like you want like say 500 crores or 1,000 crores, you get there, and then that's a goal that you've achieved, right?
right.
But what next? So my present goal is just to build a system that continues to win, each and every time. So that is my pri- primary goal right now.
Okay. I want to know a little bit also about Starseed cult that you're building. Can you just tell us something about that as well?
So Starseed cult was, I growing up had a lot of acne and really bad skin conditions and stuff like that. Like I had this condition called keratosis pilaris, and skin and hair to girls are the most important thing, not just to women, pretty much to everyone is the most important thing. So I got into that and I understood that a lot of skin layering, like the product layering that we're doing with chemicals, with the fragrances and the colors that we're actually using on our skin is actually damaging our skin barrier more than anything else. So I came up with the concept of skinimalism, and that is what Starseed stands for. The word Starseed basically it's the same as Flomad in terms of the concept of brand building. We are trying to create a community basically of healers, people who believe that they are put on this planet to heal instead of to just win or get more or anything of that sort. Starseed is just a community that I want to grow and I want to build with fellow healers who want to come together and provide solutions that are not just digital or quicker. Maybe they're slower. Maybe they're like uh, all the things that India is actually known for, like Ayurveda, like uh, even homeopathy. So it's like the slow living and the slow process of actually winning long term in life.
Okay.
Yeah.
What, according to you, is the difference between confidence and arrogance? And have you ever been misunderstood with either?
There's a very vast difference between the two because if you're arrogant, there's no way you're actually confident. Anyone who's confident and is actually truly content with themselves will never be arrogant. It's one thing to be authoritative, and it's a completely other thing to be arrogant. And like just arrogance is something that people who are not content with themselves use as a mask.
Okay. I'm going to ask you this. Let's try and see if I can get some secrets out of you. So, what part of your story, have you intentionally kept away from the public?
Um, I've not intentionally kept anything away from the public, but yes, I have. I had recently. I think in April, I went through my divorce. I
Okay.
was married for 7 months, and it was somebody who was within the same industry, so there was a lot of talk around that.
Okay.
Uh, so I never really had a lot to share about that, but it's just again, I think it's the ways of the present generation and how marriages are working nowadays. So I think I've
Yeah.
just been a victim of the unromantic times that are going on currently.
Okay.
Yeah.
I also want to know, today there are a lot of youngsters, especially the Gen Zs of today, who want to build their own career. They have startups, but they don't know how to start. And you know that we don't have dearth of talent in our country. You have so much talent, but they don't have a platform. So, what are the kind of attributes one must have according to you, which you can probably share in your journey that you have experienced to them?
Not having platforms is actually, well, that's also a market gap. Create a platform. I see people who are complaining about the politicians and who are complaining about the current circumstances and stuff like that. And in this day and age, we as a generation, I'm also Gen Z, so the Gen Z actually has more resources to themselves than anyone ever has. We have internet, we have AI, we have the luxury of working from home, we have the luxury of working remotely for an American company while sitting in India and all of that, right?
Right.
So we have more resources than anyone ever has had in the past. I feel like anyone saying that we don't have enough tools to work with is using an excuse that they should not be using. In all honesty, the government, if the government's bothering you, step up, get into it. I'm extremely supportive of the Cockroach Janta Party movement right now. I've written a piece on that as well. So I think everyone just needs to create a circumstance for themselves that works. And the only thing that will starve your brain and starve your life and starve you and your livelihood is victimization. So self victimization is the biggest social evil, according to me.
Okay. And according to you, which was more dangerous, is it failure or is it the fear of becoming irrelevant?
Both of them are dangerous, actually. Um, Fear of becoming irrelevant is actually led by ego. And fear of failure is also led by ego. So the first thing that we need to go through, especially in a country like India, where Hindutva has over years taught us to not be fearful and to go. And like the first thing that you do is like you kill your ego, right? So your self-image needs to be destroyed in your head first. Then it's actually okay for you to fail, to lose, or to do anything. It's just easier to come back up when you see yourself as just like one other organism among so many others instead of, oh, me, I am a big deal.
Right. If today you were given one superpower, to use, what would you use it on and why?
Well, it does. I see a lot of things that I feel really helpless about in our society. Like when there's so much that's going wrong, there's so much, not just in our society, like with the Epstein files, with what's happening in the whole geopolitical situation. There's so many countries that are being destroyed overnight. So I wish I could do something about that, like an ideal world where everyone just sort of cares for one another and we all believe in healing one another instead of destroying one another, and the power dynamics and nationalism concepts and religionism concepts just go away. I
Right.
mean, if I could do something about it, that would be the superpower I would request for.
Everyone talks about health. Health is a big, vast subject. But I want to know, it's equally important in terms of being healthy mentally. What according to you, when you're having a stressful day and, you're wanting to, probably just unwind, what keeps you going and keeps you motivated all the time?
For me, well, I have been a meditator for a really long time, and in between, at one point when I was going through a lot, I stopped meditating and I drifted away from myself, which is probably the only thing that I've ever regretted. So that should not happen. But of course, I think working out is very important. Like, actually, your mental and your physical health are so like incredibly intertwined. Is that something that we need to understand a lot more? Especially in India now, we're seeing a movement of people going to the gym a lot more. That's great because lifting weights actually does something for your mind chemically that nothing else can. You get used to handling hardships, taking cold showers, or how there's a Japanese concept of rubbing ice on your wrist and stuff like that. It's things like that. Like I'm in the process right now of dropping coffee completely, which I have been 18 days, 19 days coffee sober. So yay. But yeah, I think things like that are more important and they help you deal with your mental health a lot better than any sort of a dependency on caffeine, alcohol, smoking, good or bad, or even attachments in general. Lifting weight really helps.
Okay. Now it comes to a fun segment. This is a rapid fire round. I'm going to ask you quick questions, and I probably want to expect you to answer them really quickly as well. So the first one would be, what is that one destination you'd always want to go to unwind?
New York City.
Okay. If according to you, what is that one dish you cook really well?
Butter chicken.
Okay. Um, Morning or night person?
Night person.
Okay. One book that you've lately read which has really inspired you a lot.
Well, Devdutt Patnaik's Seven Secrets of Shiva.
Okay. The music genre you go to, because I think even music is a good therapy, when people are stressed out. So, it's not.
100%.
Yes. So if, what is that genre of music which you probably like listening to when you're having a tough day?
UK rap. It really inspires me.
Okay. One motto you stand by.
Persistence is the key.
Okay. What according to you is the one big difference between the millennials and the Gen Zs of today?
Self discipline.
Okay. So who doesn't have self-discipline? The Gen Zs or the millennials?
Gen Z a little bit because millennials are used to showing up for a lot more, for their parents, for jobs, for classes, a lot more than us Gen Zs, unfortunately.
Okay. If today there was a biopic being made on your life, who do you think would play the best character, whether it's Hollywood or Bollywood?
I.
Okay.
Well, I mean, Kareena Kapoor from the 90s, maybe. She would
Okay.
kill it. Or
Okay.
maybe I'm just playing her role, but either way, it's cute. She's my favorite.
Um, What is that one legacy you want to leave behind?
I think just a better world of healers and a community of healers.
Okay. Um, One thing that you've always wanted to do, but you were not dead enough to do it.
Wow, that one's actually got me stuck. Well, I recently did cliff jumping, which was very hard for me before. But that's pretty much it. I go ahead and do everything that I'm scared of doing. I do it first.
Okay. And my last question for the episode would be, one positive message from you to the viewers watching us today. What would you like to tell them because you've seen hardships, you've seen success, you've seen so many things, and you're building so many businesses yourself, so something coming from you directly from the heart to them, what would you like to tell them?
From my heart to everyone else's, I feel that us as a community can do just one thing for one another. We can just make each other's day a little bit better. So just be kind to everyone. I know the internet loves to hate, and I think the internet is compiled by millions of people like us. So don't hate, go out and create instead of consuming more, create more. People love to hate social media influencers and anyone who they believe that are just doing better and they have it easy. Trust me, nobody has it easy. Everyone has battles, everyone's fighting theirs. So just be kind, be loving, and try to just make everyone's life a little bit easier as much as you can.
No, that's a lovely message. Thank you, Devika. I'm sure everyone watching us today will be so inspired also, with your journey. So thank you so much for giving the time to do
You
this candid chat with me. And yeah, I hope to
know,
see you on
so
the other side really soon. And
likewise.
wishing you all the very best for all your future endeavors. I hope you always keep smiling and
Thank
shining
you.
always. So yeah,
Thank you so much, Sudan. Thank you for doing this. Thank you
thank
for
you.
having me on the show. Thank you.